So taking a few moments to find that position for meditation. I'll be offering some light guidance and timing the sit about 30 minutes. So no worries, no need for you to check the time or look at the clock. Just really taking advantage of this opportunity, this time you're making for yourself, carving out in your day for meditation, for joining this community, for sharing your practice. I also wanted to note up front that there will be stretches of silence. And just so you're knowledgeable and comfortable with that, once again, no need to check the screen or the clock. I'll be here, guiding you along the way. And if you're comfortable with softening your eyes, inviting you to turn away from the screen if that's possible. Really taking advantage of this time to slow down and tune in. Priming the mind, body for meditation. It may take a few moments for the nervous system to relax. Taking a few moments to find that comfortable posture. One where you can remain, if you're seated, remaining upright yet relaxed, feeling balanced. I like thinking of these phrases of strong back, soft front. The head, just envisioning the head resting atop the spine, ears over shoulders, the chin slightly tucked, allowing for the neck muscles and the shoulders to relax down the back. Hands resting in the lap. You may place palm over palm if you wish. And finding that posture where you can also invite some stillness as best as you can. And priming the mind body for meditation. It's always helpful to begin with a few deep breaths. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Perhaps even an audible sigh at the end of your exhale. Just feeling the mind body relaxing. Feeling how the deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling, calms your nervous system, triggering that parasympathetic nervous system. You can do this with your breath. Form of self-regulation through deep breathing. And now just finding your natural breathing cycle and noticing this. You may notice the shifting of your breath in and out of the nose. Breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. And breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. Breathing in, I'm calming the mind. And breathing out, I smile. Gladdening the mind with gratefulness. Grateful for showing up today. Grateful for this sangha, this community gathering. Grateful for the opportunity to share your practice with others. Gladdening the mind. Taking a moment to reflect on your own generosity. The way you may help others. Help others in your life. Tending to loved ones. Tending to natural things around you. Caring for plants and trees. All of this. Reflecting on the generosity of others towards you. Others being kind, being helpful, being ethical. It may also be helpful to bring to mind someone or something that brings a smile to your face. Feel the opening of the soft front, opening of the heart space, allowing the breath of the body breathing to flow more smoothly. And just noticing this moment. This moment through any sensations in the body. And just noticing the body sitting, supported by the earth. Feeling the groundedness of earth element to earth element of the body. And you find peace in this moment. Allowing the body to sink deeper deeper into awareness. Breathing into any areas of tension or stress. Allowing those areas to relax, to soften. Receiving more spaciousness, more awareness. As the body settles, noticing the mind. Noticing if the mind body settles as one. Or if there are thoughts pulling you away. Inviting curiosity about the types of thoughts. Or distractions that pull you away from this moment. And can you notice that you're not your thoughts? You're an observer of your thoughts. And just like your breath that moves in and out, so do your thoughts. Just noticing how they come and how they go. Without attachment. No clinging. No aversion. Noticing the sounds. The types of sounds. Could be birds, traffic, and my voice. And just noticing the sounds as they rise and as they fall. Being present in this moment to the changing nature, to the impermanence of all things. And with each breath, dropping deeper into the spaciousness this awareness of this moment, without judgment, without attachment. Transitioning from doing to receiving, to being. allowing the mind to rest. Staying present as best as you can. And just noticing when your mind goes adrift into planning or ruminating, analyzing. And just noticing this without any judgment. Practicing self-compassion and kindness. And if you wish, just gently guiding yourself back to the breath, to breathing, breathing in, breathing out. And creating a clearing. A clearing to just sit. To just notice. This moment, just as it is. Clearing a space to hold everything, all the joys, all the sorrows. as they come and as they go. And this clearing, in this space, you can also bring in some of the heart practices like loving kindness, and sharing well wishes for yourself, for everyone here today, for our community, our sangha, and for all beings in the world, without exception. And the loving kindness phrases are meant to be shared. Aspirational and shared. And sharing from your heart center out into the world these well wishes. May I be happy. May I be safe. May I be well in body and mind. May I be peaceful, live in ease. May we all be happy. May we all be safe. May we all be well in body and mind. May we all experience peace and live with ease. May we be open to all the love in our hearts. Meeting suffering with kindness and compassion. And in closing this meditation today, sharing these well wishes, radiating these well wishes throughout our own bodies and mind and out into the world, touching all beings everywhere without exception. May we all be open to all the love in our hearts. And may it be so. Thank you so much for your practice. Taking some moments to find some movement in your body. Slowly coming back in your own time. I like to just stand and shake things out a little bit. Some twisting, side to side. Reaching up, gathering all the energy, stretching up as best as you can, and slowly bringing your arms down to your waist and then back up. Breathing in and breathing out. One more time, full breath. Breathing in and breathing out, centering. This is a Qigong move, taking in the energy and bringing the energy back in. Shaking out the hands, arms, and just gently moving your neck from side to side. With the in-breath and then the out-breath to one side. Inhaling and exhaling to the other side. Just doing this a few times. You may wish to bring your arms out, back in as you inhale and exhale. Just rotating your neck very gently from side to side. And in your own time, just coming back. Seated posture. And I wanted to talk today about the concept of right view. Some of you who are practicing along the Eightfold Path may know that right view is the first element of the Eightfold Path. And I wanted to emphasize the Eightfold Path as something, that is really alive and something that we can continue to study and work with. It's a beautiful framework for living that the Buddha taught during his 45 years of teaching. And just a little bit of background. So the story of Buddha really takes off when, as a young prince, he leaves home, right? And on his journey, as the story goes, he sees sickness, old age, and death along the path. And as we know, these are natural occurrences of the body, but his family truly shielded him from this. And along his journey, he begins to grasp that these are basic conditions for all beings. And he transitions from ignorance to reality and to knowledge. So during his spiritual quest, he renounced his princely life. He sought out various types of teachers and activities. And he really did punish his body through some extreme practices like prolonged fasting. And then he thought, punishing the body, that the mind would be elevated and that the door of wisdom would somehow be found at the edge of death. So he really did push himself to that edge. And after 6 years of this, he was only met by frustration. There has to be something else. He's not seeing these punishing practices as like enlightening in his experience. So he then went to sit beneath a tree, a ficus tree, the Bodhi tree, to meditate until he realized his enlightenment. And his first teaching after enlightenment, and really throughout his teaching life, were the Four Noble Truths. And at the Center for Mindful Living, I know we've had many, many teachers teach various aspects of the Four Noble Truths because they're the core. They're at the core. And I'll just walk through the Four Noble Truths as a refresher. And the first noble truth is that there is suffering. And there are various ways to define suffering, or dukkha as the Pali word, which was the language in which Buddha taught. Essentially, the way it's been translated is that things in life not going the way we wish. This type of suffering. And that there's suffering that is given for the human body. Aging, sickness, and death. Some of the things that he noticed along his journey. The second noble truth is that there are causes and conditions of suffering. And through our meditation practice, we sit and we notice some of these underlying root causes around things not going our way, our attachment, our craving. We want this. We want things to be different than the way they are. So really delving into the causes and conditions of our suffering. That's the second noble truth. And then the third noble truth is that it's possible to overcome our suffering by eliminating these root causes and conditions, craving and attachment. We don't need to add to our suffering by shooting that second arrow. And the fourth noble truth, these are all packaged as lists because back in the day, people weren't emailing around. These teachings were passed orally. And the fourth is that there's this path to liberation called the Eightfold Path. And it's a set of ethical and mental practices designed to cultivate the wisdom, the compassion, and mindfulness. So that's a quick summary of the four noble truths. And you'll notice the fourth has another list, right? The Eightfold Path. A set of ethical and mental practices. And the first element of the Eightfold Path is right view. So coming back to right view, which from the teaching involves a right, or maybe a better word is complete, a complete understanding of the Four Noble Truths. So right view takes us back to the Four Noble Truths. The truth of suffering, the origins of suffering, the end of suffering, and the path to the end of suffering. So right view, the first element of the Eightfold Path, is like turning a light on in the dark. It's often referred to as wisdom. Seeing things with clear eyes as they truly are, free from delusion, free from attachment. And you'll notice just even in today's guidance, we were practicing getting to right view, what's alive in this moment with clear eyes, and not being distracted or pulled away from other attachments. And so one of the ways to practice right view is to make that choice, the choice moment by moment, not to get stuck on how we want things to be or not to be. And this is important, not to close our eyes, but to be with what is. And I love like these sort of references that go back and forth. So for example, when we look at the loved ones in our lives, a partner, a spouse, children, or others, any other being, people on the news, ourselves, our face in the mirror. And we bring what we know, we center that. And it goes back to what the Buddha was noticing when he first was on his spiritual quest after he renounced his princely ways. And he instructed the monks and nuns that he was teaching on these 5 daily reflections. And those reflections revolve around that we are the nature to get sick, we're the nature to grow old, the nature to die. And then these instructions keep coming back because it's like the first noble truth of life, that there is suffering. And then we can pause with this. We can feel the enormity of it. And we can feel our responsibility to ourselves and others. Knowing that we have this precious life right now in front of us. And the choice, we have a choice to stay with what's right in front of us, with what's hard. And that's the right view. It's the moment of discovery. It allows us to do what's next in this path, how we wish to live our lives. So you see the next elements of the path involve things like right speech and right action. And it begins with this right view, opening our eyes to everything in our body and our mind. And by utilizing these daily reflections around suffering, the inevitable suffering of aging and sickness and death, we can begin to pay more attention to those next steps, like how am I living? Noticing like our actions. How do we react to things? Bringing up another list. Are my actions, are they kind? Are they honest? Are they helpful? Are they generous? And personally, I also like integrating this right view with the beginner's mind of being open and curious, and yet not too strongly attached to my views, which can and do change, that impermanence. And quoting Zen monk Shunryu Suzuki on Beginner's Mind. He's actually the author of Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. And he says in the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities. And in the expert's mind, there are few. So really being open to this moment of discovery, this present moment, and this gift. There are many other ways to practice with right view, this first step of the Eightfold Path that informs every other step. And so here's a little bit of homework, if you wish, on right view and paying attention. So perhaps this week when you're in meditation or having just a contemplative moment, notice how your state of mind, your view of things affects what you do and how you do it. So paying attention to how what you do affects your state of mind. And just being curious about that. And bringing a sense of curiosity to the activities that give you energy, and bringing a sense of curiosity to the activities that drain your energy. And just noticing and practicing how the state of your mind affects what you do and how you do it. And just noticing those connections.